The great lie of Sinner and his doping scandal. The World Anti-Doping Agency has denied that the case regarding Sinner's positive test is closed, as was claimed just hours earlier. This Tuesday, September 10th, the final ruling on Yannick Sinner's doping case was reportedly published, in which the World Anti-Doping Agency declared him innocent of the positive test. This is what the Italian outlet Corriere della Sera published, and the news that all media outlets picked up. However, just hours later, the organization itself denied that the case had been concluded. The uproar began a couple of weeks ago when Sinner's positive doping test during the Indian Wells Masters 1000 became public. Supposedly, the presence of clostebol in his system was due to contamination from an over-the-counter spray available in Italy that his physiotherapist had used to treat a wound. This way, the doping was unintentional. This is the official version the tennis player gave to explain the situation. Today, the scandal appeared to have come to an end after the appeal period by the Italian National Anti-Doping Organization and the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, expired. However, the final resolution is still pending. The organizations have requested more documentation to better study the case. Therefore, WADA has stated that the case is still under review, and no decision has been made. To know the final deadline, one must consult Article 13.2.3.5 of the World Anti-Doping Code. According to this manual, there is an extra 21-day period, meaning the Sinner case is far from over. Yannick Sinner ignores the controversy and keeps winning. Over the past month, Yannick Sinner has claimed victory twice, paying no attention to what's being said about him and his positive doping test. The Italian arrived in the United States to compete in the Cincinnati Masters 1000 and prepare for the year's last Grand Slam, held just a few days later. The world number one won that title and traveled to New York to chase the double. Between competitions, the alleged doping incident at the Indian Wells Masters 1000 was made public, a scandal that affected him during the US Open, but it mattered little to him. Match by match, he reached the final and defeated Taylor Fritz to win the tournament. While everyone debated whether he should be competing until the case is resolved, he was winning on the courts and solidifying his top spot in the rankings. Sinner, adversity has made me grow in many ways. The Italian opens up again after his US Open victory and talks about the reception from the crowd on the day of the final and how he behaves after such a major success. Yannick Sinner has been the center of attention in the tennis world in recent weeks. After his positive doping test, the Italian reset mentally, and knowing he had been declared innocent by the tribunal of any guilt, he approached the 2024 US Open with the goal of silencing all critics with his racket. He is now a double Grand Slam champion, but the road to victory wasn't easy. As many of his team members point out, it was filled with conversations and doubts along the way. The Italian competed at the Flushing Meadows tournament under intense scrutiny, experiencing several stressful moments both during this tournament and in the weeks leading up to it. In statements collected by Super Tennis, Yannick opened up about how he dealt with these challenges. Adversity has made me grow in many ways. You have to be prepared to go through certain moments. In my mind, I knew I was well trained, I have a good balance, but I also get nervous at certain moments. In terms of tennis, I felt I had improved, and even when things weren't perfect, I was able to stick to my work and everything we've done, said Sinner, who also specifically addressed the day of the final. I felt privileged to be part of such an important final for my career, especially after everything I've been through in recent months. Now the adrenaline is gone, the emotions are different. I'm very happy with how everything played out. If you don't enjoy the moment of victory, then it's all for nothing. When you achieve certain goals, you must savor them. There's no rule about how many days of rest you should take. My team and I know each other perfectly. We know that, for example, after this tournament, I need 4 or 5 more days of rest than usual. Joy over the public's reaction. Just before the last Grand Slam of the year, Yannick reflected on the potential reaction from the public after the news of his positive test. Aware that some parts of the crowd might turn against him, the Italian now feels relieved and relaxed after experiencing the support and affection of fans in New York. The love from the crowd makes me feel more at peace with myself, that's for sure. I don't play much in Italy, there are only 3 major events there, Rome, the ATP Finals, and the Davis Cup, but I've always felt the love from all the people watching the matches on TV. There were also many of my fans at Arthur Ashe Stadium. Yannick's next challenge, according to his schedule, will be the Beijing tournament, for which he has 2.5 weeks to rest. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like because at Tennis Extra, we are dedicated to bringing you the best information for the best audience, sharing in-depth analysis, exclusive interviews, and full coverage of everything related to the tennis world. Join our community and be part of the excitement of